What's up? Ryan K here from Refer.io, and welcome to another episode of Ask Ryan Your Job Search Questions. Today I've got an email from Nathan who just graduated from college, and he can't get an entry-level job because he doesn't have any experience. This right here is one of the biggest challenges for pretty much every college graduate, unless you pick a degree that has a clear path into an internship and a job like, say, accounting. But a lot of people get, say, like a business management degree or a psychology degree, but it's just a bachelor's degree or any of those where there's not clear recruiters on the college campus pulling you into that next job, and you get stuck in the dip. It's the desert of despair, you could call it. It's the I don't have experience, so I can't get a job, but I can't get experience because I can't get a job. And it just rubs back and forth. It is one of the most challenging situations to be in. And you get trapped there trying to cross that gap. Maybe you have job experience, but it's a college job. It's Starbucks, it's Dutch Bros, it's pizza delivery like what I did when I was in college. But you're trying to now jump into a real office job, a real professional job, something like that. And that jump, you just get stuck there. And so there are some things you can do, although it does take a lot of work to make that jump, but I'm going to outline them for you really quick here. So most of the time what we do is we assume that a college degree is going to get us in the door to a job. And the problem is in most industries and with most college degrees, that's just not true anymore. So you need to instead think about this from the employer's perspective and say, what is it that the employer is trying to accomplish? Number one, they certainly do want people with potential, and they want to give people a shot, but they have to reduce their risk of hiring an unknown. And effectively, that's really what you are as a college graduate, is an unknown. Yes, you have a known experience and known proof of your ability to study and take tests and do homework, but to be honest, that's not what a job is like, and in corporate America especially. What a job like is in corporate America is also not what it's like to work a fast food job or any of those jobs. The best way to think about it is that at a fast food job or a normal college job, it's a whole lot like school. And what I mean by that is somebody is there telling you what to do all the time, and you just have to show up. That's the only expectation. If you show up and do exactly what you're told. The problem is when you jump that gap and land in a corporate job, for the most part, we don't want to have to tell you what to do. We're assuming as an employee, we need you to go figure stuff out on your own. We need you to take initiative and show drive and have context about what's going on. And that is the risk that the employers are trying to solve for. The risk of, will this person expect me to tell them everything to do, to beg them to just show up to work on time? You see, when you're working that fast food job, when you're working that college job, if you show up to work on time, they are happy. But in corporate America, that's not the minimum bar. The minimum bar is that you are self-driven to perfect your craft, to drive your profession, to build yourself up. And so if that is the risk that corporate America is worried about, is that they're going to have to raise you into being a real employee, not just somebody who does what you're told, then that's also the secret for how you go about solving this problem. And so here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to be able to show people that you're applying to that you are hungry to learn, to grow, to evolve, that you're hungry. Number two, that you're humble, that you are listening and open to advice, yet hungry enough to then act on it. And number three is that you are smart, not just book smart, but socially smart. You're aware of what's going on. You understand that world around you, and that the environment you're stepping into is nothing like college or high school or working at those college jobs. Now, how do you go about doing this? It's really quite simple. Step one, pick an industry that you want to be in, whether that's hospitality, whether that's manufacturing, whether that's, construction, whatever it is. Pick an industry, not a job. Pick an industry that you're interested in, and then go to Amazon, download some books, go and find some podcasts about that industry, go out and find the people who influence that industry, Go and find blogs and news articles about it and consume that information. Your goal is to gain context around that industry, that you understand what the businesses are out there, what the competitive landscape is like, what the customers are looking for. If this is a product or service business, go and read reviews about the different companies from their customers. Immerse yourself in that industry, not the job, but the industry. Because what you want to do is be able to show up with context that you can prove that, number one, you know about the industry, and number two, that you went and learned about it on your own. Most likely, there's not going to be something you learned from college about a given industry. And so if you'll pick one or two industries that you're interested in working in, enough that you're willing to immerse yourself in it for a couple of weeks even, you can massively level up your industry knowledge in 1 to 2 weeks. So that's number one, immerse yourself in industry knowledge. Number two, immerse yourself in that job functional area, whether it's marketing or sales or whatever the case may be. Once again, go download some books, go get around, read blogs, etc. Now, once you've immersed yourself in those two parts, now we got to take the next step, which is you need to get around people in that industry and in that role. Every single industry on the face of the planet has local associations that have meetups. And almost every single business type role has associations, whether it's a HubSpot meetup group or a sales association or accounting has their different designations. You need to deal with proximity here, and you need to close that proximity. What I mean by that is, instead of hanging out with your college friends, you need to go hang out with people doing that job role and in that industry. Find those places that they're hanging out. You can start by looking online for Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups. Go and join those groups. Get in and listen to the conversations going around. Start engaging and asking questions of those individuals, and then actually go to a live event, whether it's a trade show, a lunch and learn, a networking event. If you just go and Google Manufacturing Association Utah or Tech Association Utah or Accounting Association Utah or Accounting Professional Events, all of those things, you will find a whole bunch of associations out there with lunches every month, with breakfast meetups, with networking socials, and go show up and get around those people. Yes, you're not going to know very much when you get there, so ask a lot of questions. Start engaging in conversation. The cool thing about this is, again, we're getting context, now we're getting connections. Those two things are going to lead you to being able to apply for a job. And the number one key here is that application needs to be a referral, not from a job board. You see, because you gained enough knowledge to be dangerous in that industry and in that job role, and then you went and got proximity, you got around people who work in that industry, in that job role, you're now going to have somebody who can refer you into their company where they work for one of their entry-level jobs. So when you apply, your application through the career site, not through the job boards, should say, I applied, I found about this job, I put the person's name down who referred you. Let that person know that you applied so that they can tell HR. Then network to the HR person and connect with them. Hey, I've been hanging out at such and such association meetups. I've read the following books. I'm super interested in this industry. I was talking to the person that you engaged. They referred me to this job that you have that's an entry-level job. I went ahead and applied. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Connect with them via LinkedIn. Send them that message. Make sure your LinkedIn profile is cleaned up and focused on that industry, because that's what they're going to look at. Now, what did we just accomplish? Well, we just gained massive context outside of just college. We know the industry and the function, number one. Number two, we gained actual connection to people in that space, as well as connection to people at the company. And number three, we actually engaged through the route that is most likely to get us in the front door, which is a referral. Referrals lower our risk threshold to that employer. And that is the 3 steps that I follow and would suggest everybody follow when they're coming out of college. Now, what could you do to expand that further? Every day that you're out there building your LinkedIn profile and in those groups, keep connecting with more and more people. Keep building your context, your knowledge of the industry and the function. Keep building your network, making more and more connections. And trust me, if you do that enough days in a row, you will find a referral to a great job where you can list their name and it will amplify the chances that you actually get an interview. It's not enough to just get an interview. You want to be able to decrease the risk. When you show up for that interview, prepare by knowing everything about that company, their competitors. Take all of that knowledge you gained by studying the industry and that functional area of the business, and trust me, you will have a huge leg up on everybody else who's applying to that entry-level job, just assuming that they will be told what they need to know. You instead are showing up, showing your hunger, show your humility, and show your ability to socially connect with people so that you show up there as less of a risk and more of a potential upside person that they could hire. That is the process. I know it's not easy, but trust me, it's worth it, because this is the same process you will run at becoming successful in your career, at moving up the corporate ladder, at moving into a new company in the future as you progress down your career path. And so this process of context, connection, and an actual referral is really the process you will use throughout your entire career. Hopefully this video found you well. If you have any questions for me, I would love to answer them. Shoot me an email at askryan@refer.io. Any question is on the table. I don't care how outrageous you think it is or how dumb you think it is. Shoot me the question. I'd love to record a video and answer it for you. Until next time, good luck with your career.